Mineski. Both teams gone through a lot of other teams to get up here. I think Fnatic's the favorite. Not I think, I know Fnatic is the favorite going into this match. We can take a look at the odds. Yeah, they're way in Fnatic's favor, 72% to 28. But you know what? Mineski's been playing really solid recently. So I'm excited to see what these two teams can put up against each other, and the IO's already out. But let's do some introductions. I'm Llama Down Under. I'm joined by PQMZ. How you doing?
Pretty good. I think that's a pretty good value bet on Mineski though for 72% Fnatic.
Yeah, I think it's hard because when stuff like this happens, where Fnatic already got the IO, DJ's IO is well known. I, unfortunately, because of my casting schedule, haven't actually gotten to watch a lot of Fnatic, and even I know about DJ's IO. Pretty sure it's DJ. It's gonna be awkward if it isn't DJ. But he's good with the hero, to say the least.
I'm pretty sure they have a IO transition offlane, which is normally what DJ plays with the IO from the games I've seen, which is a really interesting mechanic. You generally don't have that happen in teams. It's nice that they can mix it up and do that when they get the hero.
Yeah, so we'll see exactly who's on it, but a nice immediate counter pickup. I love this, the AA. I feel like AA is fantastic here for a number of reasons, but one, there's the healing that IO does, but it's also really easy to hit the Ice Blast on a relocating target. You can see it a bit more easily. So it'll be exciting to see if they can make it work. See, they bumped my table. And yeah, we got, oh goodness, it's the combo. So we just saw this wreck face in a game. I feel like regardless of how this goes, we're probably seeing IO banned next set.
I feel like IO Tiny is coming back to its prime now. Teams are just first twoing it, not giving too much of a consideration to what teams are going to counter it with. They think that it's going to have an impact on the game, even if they have 3 or 4 counter picks. Which is nice to see, but I feel like Ember and AA can definitely do their part. So, see what else they bolster their roster with.
Now, the ban out on Undying, wanting to make sure... we still don't know. It could be mid Ember, it could be safe lane Ember, but just wanting to make sure that whoever's in their safe lane from Mineski gets a lot of farm. And I wonder, it feels really greedy, but AA always opens you up for global possibilities, like stuff like the Spectre. So I think it's really scary to play a Spectre into an IO Tiny, but it is one of those more mobile heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like it's definitely a way you can take the AA, but at the moment it looks like they just want to have the Ember go safe lane, because going against IO Tiny mid is not the best thing in the world. AA is probably down there as well, trying to get as much experience as he can. And I imagine they'll be picking up some kind of hero to deal with IO Tiny now. The Quap out the pool, Windrunner's still there, not the best option. In the pool, which synergizes fairly well with the AA, just having a lot of sustained damage throughout fights.
Yeah.
We'll see what options they go for.
5 seconds remaining.
And Mineski have, there's also, trying to think of awesome supports against it. We've seen Disruptor picked up. We actually go with the Earthshaker. It could be, again, another offlane Earthshaker, just saw one of those. And he works in either one, I think. You know, offlane Earthshaker or safe lane.
I feel like when you know
Sorry,
they
not
only
safe
have 2
lane,
heroes...
support. Brain dead. You were saying.
I knew what you meant, but if Earthshaker is an offlane into 2 heroes, they can pick 2 really greedy heroes. Whereas if you have an offlaner that offers some kind of pressure at least, forces their safe lane to be different heroes, or they're up in exchange for their greed, as opposed to Earthshaker, who can't really pressure that. And I really like the clock here, because he's very good at finding out AA, whether he's farming on his own, very good at finding the Earthshaker in fights and stopping him counter-initiating. The way of dealing with the IO Tiny is apparently a Viper.
Yeah, this interaction is really funky. Viper's a naturally tanky hero, and he can certainly Viper Strike the Tiny, or the IO really, probably the Tiny, just because of the effects. But it's going to be something where he can take out the IO pretty quickly. At the same time, it's... I don't know, I feel like Viper is a very hard hero to get a lot of farm on, and he also doesn't... He sits there and is tanky. He doesn't maybe have the hugest damage output.
Well, I think the Viper leans it towards the support shaker, so he's going to be sitting around mid, probably making stuff with the Ember, trying to control runes with Viper to stop the IO getting them. And I think that's a good enough dual lane to stop the IO Tiny getting complete dominance in their lane. Fnatic are probably going to look to pick up their other support here. That could still be their safe lane hero with the Lina, which I like a lot into Viper and Ember. They have some variation / mobility between the two of them, but when you just tank a Laguna to your face, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's something where Lina, despite the nerf, she lost about 100 damage on the... She lost a bit of damage on the Light Strike Array and then 100 or so on the Laguna Blade as it scales. But she's still a pain, especially if she can get the Ag's Refresher. You hit so hard, it's pure damage. Not very many heroes can tank 1700 pure damage without being
Definitely,
dead.
I was actually really surprised they went with the LSA instead of like, Fiery Soul, because I feel like her right clicks are just too strong considering her nukes as well.
Yeah.
The hero is such a good hybrid when you think about it.
Yeah, it's very powerful, and as you said, we've seen her before go right clicker. She has a lot of different item builds. She's very flexible as opposed to quite a few. We have some heroes in this game like Tiny. He has to go the Ags. He's probably going to go an AC, maybe then a Daedalus. It depends. He's got options after that. But Ember Spirit as well. He's going to build ideally bots, then Battle Fury for some cleave, then Daedalus. But Mineski now probably picking up a support or a good offlaner. They could...
There's still Night Stalker in the pool.
Yeah.
Really surprised that's got through this far. I don't feel like it's the best hero for Mineski this game.
He's very
Fnatic-
squishy. He could work on IO though. He could pick off this IO in a lot of team fights, I feel like.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but you have to go through the Tiny, through the Clockwork, through the Lina, which is quite hard. When the rest of your team isn't the best, Viper's going to be able to be in the front, but Ember doesn't want to be there. He wants to kind of come in after a few spells have been dropped. AA's not going to offer anything except Salty, and Shaker's going to stay really far back and wait for the counter to initiate. So I feel like they want something that goes in for them here, and most of that's been banned.
And this feels like it might be a really rough game for hitting AA Blast just because you expect Tiny to probably pick up a blink. Clockwork's going to be hookshotting around. It might be a case of, Clockwork hookshots in, splits up the team fight by placing those cogs between half of the heroes, so some are pushed back and some are pushed forwards, and then it's really hard to hit an AA Blast because they're not necessarily grouped up. The clock is in one place, Tiny and IO might be off to the side. It just... Yeah. Team fight for Mineski, I think, going to be rougher than with this IO Tiny.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The last hero has to do a lot of work here in terms of initiating, I feel like. If they opt for the offlane Shaker, I'm really worried for them, so I hope they don't do that. I can't think off the top of my head what I'd look to go for the offlane here, but we'll see in about 10 seconds. They're running down all their reserve time.
I mean, they have a lot of thinking to do.
And there's still Centaur in the pool, which is one of the only heroes I can think of. Okay, there's still the Slider. I guess that does the job as well.
So, it's interesting. I feel like they've got a really mixed bag here. We've got a lot of early magical damage coming out of Mineski, and then as they scale a bit later, of course, Amber will bring a lot of damage physically, but it should help them out a little bit right now with the Slaughter's amp damage. I don't know.
It was one of the only few options left in the pool, and it's a pretty strong option, to be honest, because he's not the tankiest hero once you get rid of his armor. But I'm gonna have a hard time in lane, I feel, because if they pick any kind of setup hero for the Lina, there's still Venge in the pool, which isn't the best option. They took away like the two ideal ones in the Shadow Demon and the Rubik.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they opt for.
And that's the Venge.
we
We've
are
been seeing her get picked up a lot. So
really good this game because you get people away from the AA blast, the just disengage for the Tiny's really good. Now he has two heroes to get him out of fights. We can play extra aggressively. Same with the Lina.
Yeah. So gonna be interesting to see. Also the aura, like Tiny already is one-man wrecking crew, and the damage aura minus armor, all nice. So going to be interesting. I think a lot of this comes down to whether Raging Potato or Bimbo can get up his blink fast enough, because if he gets a fast blink, they can reliably pick off the IO in a lot of these fights with Slithering Crush and then amp damage.
Yeah, it looks like Mineski are going to go for aggro trailing just from who picked up what hero. Royo's
That's-
normally their offlaner, so I imagine they're going to put him one-on-one bottom against the clock. Go for some...
5 seconds
So they'll
remaining.
put Royo mid and probably put the Ember bottom, and then go for them tri lane top with the ladder
Yeah.
to put pressure on the dual lane from Fnatic.
So we'll be taking a look over, but let's get into introducing the teams. We've got Jules on that AA, Jesse Vash on Earthshaker, Rayo on the Viper, Ember Spirit's going to be played up by Cuckoo, or who also apparently goes by QQ, which I think is kind of cute, and Raging Potato or Bimbo headed up to that top lane, as you said. Might be an aggro, might not. And we've already got the early TP ward placement from Venge. We're seeing this a lot with the reduction in price of the TP.
Yeah, it's really smart. But over on Fnatic, we have Mushi on the safe lane Lina, DJ on his IO, Black on his well-known Tiny, Net on the Venge, and Ohio on one of his better heroes, I believe, which is Clock.
Yeah, I feel like a lot
Raging
of players...
Potato actually missing on the D ward here, which is really smart place by Net. This is so far away from what you normally expect a lane ward to be.
Yeah, you expect it much lower, as clearly they were.
Oh,
They
they're
were
going
expecting
for
it
the
there.
tree play. They're going to try and toss someone up onto the high ground. Never seen
Okay.
this done from the Dire side before. Seen it done on this cliff by Radiant a lot, but I've never seen it attempted on Dire.
Let's see if they can seal the deal. We've got a really early chilling touch coming out, but Black, he's also got a salve. Did I just see that right? Did he have a salve used on him?
He wasted a self.
Oh goodness, so now Black, he's trying to catch someone. It's
He's
going to
the
Viper,
Viper?
but I don't know if you want to toss the Viper. He does. DJ might just go down here. Oh gosh, no. He manages to tether away in time, taking quite a bit of damage. Net, Triggery does hit. Raging Potato not able to seal the deal. They just need one more auto attack, two more. Oh, come on, yes, and they get the first blood on Jesse Vasha, and Viper has
Viper
eaten
his
his
way
way
out.
free, and now I think he's going to kill off DJ with this Q. It is more than enough damage on that poison attack, but Viper gets away off to the side onto Black, and that's our first blood action-packed already. I think that play cute, but maybe Viper not the one you wanted to toss up there. Lucky he had tangos, but he did like
that's
half of
not
Wolf's
ideal
health.
because you can tango out of it. That's the problem. If you got him up here, but I think that's a lot harder to get IO up on, so it makes sense that they tried for that. But they just tried for such cutesy play and it didn't really work because the AA killing took much damage on the rune fight. However, Ohio's having a bit of a problem bottom, getting harassed down by the flame shield, probably going to be forced to pop his salve really early. Makes the lane look really good, Cuckoo.
Yeah, it feels like a lane which I thought... Actually, they're running 2-1-2 on Mineski.
That makes sense.
Kind of 2-1-2. Raging Potato has been alone for a while. He's halfway to level 2. Probably not going to make it for a while because it looks like the Earthshaker's thinking about mid. What can Viper do in this mid lane? The Q is very powerful, this poison attack. At the same time, it does take quite a bit of mana because you're an Agi hero. So.
As you say, you just have to keep harassing down, getting as much CS as you can, and relying mostly on the Earthshaker to stuns. Like, if they're Tiny going for the stun use, you have to fish him off so you can't get the toss back into the tower, and Viper should be able to farm decently well in this lane. But it's how he transitions out of the lane, I feel, is going to be the big thing for them. Tiny is obviously going to look for stacks. They're actually going in for the toss now. They get him back into the tower, but he should be able to walk.
Yeah, the IO, the Tiny being so far away, IO just can't do anything here. The corrosive skin just helping Viper out move speed. IO and no such luck killing Ryo.
He actually gets the bounty, so it makes up for a tiny bit of the CS and he would have missed, but it's really smart from the IO Tiny, just forcing him out of the lane. He's probably gonna just tango up and back, but that's a creep wave he's missed, and he only has 3 CS, so it's going really well for Fnatic. Quite the early disaster. I also want to note, they blocked the pad camp from Fnatic, so they can't look to stack that one.
But IO hasn't left this lane. So it's, you know, of course IO at some point will be stacking up a lot, but for now, he's been sitting very much in mid, making sure Black doesn't get dominated the moment he leaves, and there he finally goes to stack, but on bottom it looks like doing a lot of damage. They get the cold feet to proc, and now 2 more auto attacks, and they've got the Ember Spirit. So, they've got the Clockwork. Ember Spirit being very happy with that kill, and Slaughter finally getting some more experience. He was having a really rough time in top. He wasn't able to reach level 2 for a long time, so that's something where Clockwork just naturally has an easier lane.
Yeah, Slider needs to have the support to rotate away, or he needs to have someone to help him. But you can do some really cutesy stuff by pulling this camp, pushing in the trees, which is a lot harder because of the lane ward, or just tanking the creeps at the tower like this. Use your hero to get as much XP as you can.
Yeah. So he should be hitting
Viper's
level.
having a really big problem.
Yeah. I mean, if he's probably their mech carrier for Mineski, it's going to be pretty impactful shutting him down, because it just means that they won't be able to fight as aggressively for a while on Mineski.
Oh yeah, if they can take advantage of the time where Clock and Lena both have their ultimates when there's no mech on Mineski, they don't really have a big counterplay. Slaughter can't really run in there. They only really have to Shaker Fisher and the Remnants to get away. That's saving grace.
Yeah,
So it's
and
looking really good for Fnatic. No.
So we can see they're at a slight lead. It's nothing to write home about, but on the other hand, we do have Ember Spirit forming up a storm in bottom. Lena is too. It feels like the Ember. It's hard to say who will have more impact. This safe lane Mushi Lena is kind of interesting. It's not something I've seen a lot. The safe lane Lena.
Under attack.
It serves a really good purpose. They're both gonna look to be active, I hope. Ember's probably gonna be a bit more
There's the
farmy.
turnaround coming out in mid. Black taking a lot of damage, of course. Io healing him up now, but the Earthshaker Fissure on point is exactly what you talked about. They started going onto Viper and immediately Earthshaker fissured, and Io Illusion's actually doing a bit of damage. But Slaughter rotated out. Top tower, it might be a very early push, and Net is just chilling, hiding from... I don't know if you see this, it's very weird.
Yeah, he should have been scattered there, I think. So,
I thought he was seen, but Slaughter didn't ping it, so maybe he saw it, just told his team, hey, there's a Venge doing Venge things.
Yep, doing net things specifically. The ward also scats him out, so he's gonna know when they look to rotate into the river. But he's gonna get a lot of experience here. He should
They
not
get
die here
Searing
because
Chains
he-
onto Ohio. These cold feet, they're gonna proc again, and Ohio's just gonna burn down to the Flame God.
Looks like they're gonna pick up Raging Potato top as well, unless he can duke through the trees.
Oh,
Looks
it's
like
hard to
Rishi should
juke
be
when
able
they
to
have
get him.
vision of you, a wave of terror. One more auto attack, he gets the stun, but as we said, one more. And no one available to TP, and even if they did, both of these heroes are full health on Fnatic, so they finally get themselves a kill. And Raging
That shouldn't
Potato.
happen. Like he saw the Venge here. Like
Oh,
he should know
and-
the play's coming.
I thought
When
they were gonna
Mushi
get a
put-
kill in mid.
When Mushi pushes the wave in, it's really obvious what they're gonna do with the supports. So it's just a bit of plays coming out from Mineski's side.
Yeah.
Highest hit is level 6 now, so
Yeah.
he's gonna look to be active.
Gonna try to pick up the next rune, even though he's died twice. It's something where it feels, Cuckoo actually, the hook shot steals it and gets the invis. Very well played from Ohio there. I think it's a fine use of the first hook shot, and now he can set up something with the invis.
Well, he has the full bottle on the Ember, so it's not the biggest deal, but if he can get a kill mid, then it's definitely worth it. If he wants a kill from this first hook shot, and if this invis rune allows him to get it, then it's the same thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody on Mineski playing up at all. Everybody's pretty aware that he just got an illusion, so stay chill. And Slaughter's wraparound attempt on the mid lane, he's hoping to be useful, but they see him exactly. Like, they don't actually, that's a mode, I'm silly. But Slaughter, even if he goes down there, they'll see him. So it's going to be hard to make this rotation do anything for Slaughter. And yeah, now they see him. And Ohio's chasing him. They can just wrap around and dive him here. He's even using Sprint. But Ohio TV's out, offering to get the experience down bottom. And this is something where even though Ohio's died, it feels like it's worth it since his level 6 is so early. You just sometimes die for your levels.
Yeah, whenever you go on a hero in the offlane, you're naturally going to push the lane. Especially, they're actually going on him now with the flame gun and the remnants. Should proc the chilling.
Oh gosh,
feet.
he keeps getting these cold feet to proc, and it's just he manages to
hook.
walk it off. No, one more auto attack and. Yeah, the cold feet with the searing chains is pretty much ensuring the cold feet go off. I think is it technically called snap?
I have no idea what the debuff's called.
So.
But it's really good that Ember's getting kills here. But as you said, whenever dies, they naturally push the lane in because guard. So if he TP's back immediately, he normally is going to get some experience out of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he dies after he's hit his 6, so one's a bit unfortunate, and is down for another 30. But that's going to give time for Io to pick up his replicate. He's quite close.
Yeah, so they
Now?
just did 2 triple stacks in the jungle. Black getting a lot of foam from that, rocking 1,000 gold, and Io also getting levels. AA also, though, with these 4 kill involvements, he is big. He almost has
Structures are fortified.
the recipe for the Midas. And
That's a
Net will
really big
TP.
deal.
Is he going to catch him? No. So this AA might be early level 11 if he can keep up this sort of form. He just needs to get a few creeps, but again, you're an AA. You don't really get creep priority.
Not when the Scudder's here saying, I want my blink, dude.
No.
But he's got his Midas recipe now, which is enough. He'll be able to pick it up from just like bounty runes, pulling, passive gold. And he'll probably have it by like the 13-14 minute mark if he doesn't die, which is solid timing. That's if he doesn't get any kills at all though.
Now, Tiny, I think he's working on a Blink Dagger. There's a number of Blink Dagger targets here. I think that you have to go on the Earthshaker and AA, though. It's going to be hard on the Viper. Corrosive Skin helping you out a little bit there. And then also the Slaughter, you know, naturally tanky. So, and Ember, of course, with the 0 cost point on Remnant. Though Ohio's having a little look-sees. He could... Oh, Raging Potato is actually in Sprint. Ohio, yeah, he gets pinged out. I think Ohio thinking about it, but not deciding to go.
I think he'd die if the AA able to assist.
Yeah,
And he's got
AA's
mana
hit
for both his
6.
spells.
So, now, let's talk Mushi. He's gonna have a very fast Yules. Do you just immediately go Ags? Do you think there's something else necessary this game? Yules can help you set up on the Ember Spirit. It's still hard to chain that perfectly.
You actually can't. No matter. I don't think there's
The Ember Spirit
ever
has to misplay, right?
Yeah, you can just slight on the ground and you will always hit it. So he has to set up off the slight animation, which he can then remnant out from, so it's basically impossible. But the other 4 heroes are really vulnerable to it, so I wasn't sure if he was going to opt for the yours, but it makes a lot of sense if he wants to be active. After this, you could probably look for maybe bots, Bloodstone or Shadowblade, depending how you want to take the game.
Yeah.
Bots for a more farm-orientated pick-off game, Bloodstone if you want to group up and fight a bit more, Shadowblade again if you want to focus more on picking off the Ember.
So, Io has hit 6 now, with the more triple stacks being done by Black. They are forming a Storm, actually both working together to stack. I really like that type of play. And while Net, you know, maybe he hasn't had a whole bunch of... Oh, Ember Spirit actually comes in nets here, though. Mushi might be able to should hit a Light Strike Array here. Uses the Laguna Blade, but it just pops the Flame Guard. Really interesting play, and now Raging Potato is here. This looks like a very dead Net. An AA Blast just to make sure that he goes down. And AA actually gets it. He has a Midas.
Fnatic, though, because they got the tower kill and forced a free hero rotation.
Yeah.
So they're quite happy with that. Mushi opting to go for phase, so he's going for the more move speed orientated build.
Oh, the Avalanche. Oh, he doesn't manage to get the toss back, and now he's taking the Viper Strike. The stun here might be enough. They're working on the IO, realizing that Black's just getting healed up. They'll relocate out, but they'll get the IO on the return. Well, actually, the IO might be able to tether away this creep wave. Let's check cooldowns. It's really hard. They're going to try to go for the Slithering Crush. We have TPs in as well, and they decide on Mineski that it is too dangerous. So, a nice little AA blast, but AA, he had a sub 11 minute Midas. He's going to be forming very well.
He catches 2.
Oh gosh, he catches 2, and as you said, now here comes Io, but Ohio taking way too much damage. They throw the toss him with the sprint. It looks like that was enough damage, but they should be able to catch Io. No relocate save this time from DJ. AA goes down on the bottom lane, meanwhile. Looks like Laguna Blade was expecting DJ. He can't despite that last attack. So, but Lena, as we said, picks off the AA in bottom. She didn't, in fact, use the Laguna Blade. Just enough with her Light Strike Array, Fiery Souls, and Dragon Slave.
Yeah, the AA is so squishy. So whenever he gets it's good for the Lena, the Clock, or the Tiny.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be really careful positioning. Despite his early farm, he has to make sure he doesn't feed that away, because it's very easy to just continually die with this hero. Might go on Cuckoo Topo, it misses the Avalanche, so Cuckoo should be fine.
He isn't remnanting away yet. He gets
doesn't have mana
tossed
to remnant,
up.
actually.
Oh gosh, he's just TPing. He should be fine here. Yeah, he does get out. That was a play, and now Lena on the bottom lane, she's taken a lot of damage, but at the same time the Light Strike Array hits. She might just kill off Raging Potato, and they do! AA's trying to exchange with her, but you don't beat Fiery Souls, AA, and Lena, she walks out of the cold feet, so doesn't even take that damage. Up top, though, the Ember, he came back to his Remnant, taking a lot of damage. He tries to Remnant dodge something, but he does an Avalanche toss. Balls, he's gonna go down! Mineski, it feels like falling apart a little bit in this mid-game.
Yeah, Fnatic are just like them apart really well. They're actually relocating mid.
Yeah, looks like goodbye Viper, although this guy, we talked already, he's very tanky, but not tanky enough. And the fissure,
he misses.
The fissure, it has a really big cost to wind up, so understandable that missed, but really painful. Obviously, if that hit would have bought Viper some much needed time. And Ember with that death puts it further away. He was trying to go for bots, and it's just putting him further and further away.
Yeah, this is not an easy game because Fnatic have control of all 3 lanes. Wherever they go, there's like 2 heroes come in at any point. Mushi's pretty much able, like, he gets a ward from one of his supports, drops it down here. He's just able to be here alone. You know, the relocate's on. Still feels really confident.
Yeah, goodbye
Pick off the
AA.
A here.
He has a Laguna Blade if he needs. There's gonna be a Remnant in, but it's not gonna be enough. An AA blows out. It does actually put the Frostbite proc on Mushi, so Mushi going down here no matter what. And Ember Spirit makes sure he gets it, so that's a big kill for him. And Mushi overstaying his welcome, but we'll see if Ember. I think he's gonna buy out the bots now. He does. The other thing that's worrisome here, though, for Mineski is looking at these levels. This Earthshaker so under-leveled. Fnatic really has an experience advantage. Right now, at this point in the game, that's worth more than the gold advantage, because that means you've got heroes with ults and your opponents don't. Having swap and having no extra slam, it just means in these upcoming fights, Mineski has to play more carefully, and they can't be ballsies. They have to take little pickoffs, feels like.
Yeah, the Echo Slam's not too big of a deal at this point of the game, though. So he's just a Fisher bot, so the levels are obviously going to be useful. But until he gets his blink, he doesn't really need the opting to sit behind his Viper like he should be doing. He's doing the right thing. Kills just aren't coming their way. Whenever Mineski show up on their own, getting picked off, and they're doing the right thing. They're grouping up as 5 heroes and trying to force Fnatic to either trade or come and fight them.
Yep.
Fnatic opting to trade right now, more efficient and far more free lanes. Or
That-
lanes, sorry, and the jungle.
That smoke, some of the creeps may have seen it, but there's a counter smoke, so it looks like they're either going into the jungle, but they don't know it. Nobody's in there. Black also has his Aghanims. I think it's on the way out to him on the courier, and a really deep ward placed by those smoked up heroes on Fnatic. So, not looking like this
They might
smoke.
catch
Oh,
the courier.
no, the courier is way over because it's nighttime. No vision. It looks like, though, AA probably gonna take a tumble. A Blast gonna be off the mark, but they catch out DJ, and DJ, he doesn't have anything he can do. He tries to tether away the Slaughterhouse and the Fissure of Dream, but there's a hook shot onto AA. Cold Feet should pick off DJ, but they immediately blow up the AA. Now Black is taking quite a lot of damage from the amp, and there's the stun to come out. It's locking him down, and now the TP's out from the rest of Fnatic. That's a huge kill from Tiny. Way up on the net worth, of course, gonna be worth way more, and they get a little under 1,000 gold. Mineski's troubles.
Mineski are 5-on-5. They can still take the fights, which is what they need to be doing. And
Oh, Laguna Blade comes out onto Slaughter.
it's really nice replacement by Mushi. I want to point this out as well. The supports are actually giving Mushi the wards to place because he's playing so aggressively. So instead of them having to do it themselves, like DJ never has to leave his wisp, sit behind whatever he feels like he needs to do, whether it's stack or farm the Woodsing experience. Like Mushi's the one doing the warding at the moment, which is really weird to see, but it's so smart.
Yeah.
However,
So-
they also have some really good vision on Mineski, so they'll be able to see when heroes split up.
Yeah, they have really close woods here. And Mineski, actually, they're not running... Before, they had been running very close together, trying to make sure that they wouldn't really be caught off by relocate ganks. It's something where kind of the only way to deal with that is to stay more grouped as a team so that you can't be picked off. But Viper is pretty far up alone in this mid lane, although now his team is rotating back up to support him.
Covered really well after having a slightly bad mid lane to getting all these kills in these fights. Looking to pick off Cuckoo here though. They need
It's a
to
really
hook
hard
to follow
kill.
up. If he hits hook, Cuckoo's blocking it, so he couldn't go for it, and he always had the remnant out.
Yeah, a nice attempt there. As you said, you can hook shot into Light Strike. It's close, but you can do it. So Viper gonna wander up top lane. Oh,
There's a reload going down.
Though, they're gonna probably kill up A Lickety Split. He gets the A blonde stop. Can there be any sort of follow-up? IO might go down here to Viper Strike. They should have enough damage. One more auto attack. He pops to the AA. Oh, well, technically to the
no,
Viper.
he doesn't have the remnant.
Oh, he doesn't hit the Searing Chains. The Sleight of Fist wasn't close enough. And it's a trade, a little bit in favor, apparently, gold-wise, for Mineski. I'm not sure overall who I'd give that to. It feels like you really...
Fnatic forced heroes to rotate, so you have to take into account the CP money that spent. I'd really queue the support on this cliff for Mineski. If they don't D-ward this, I'll be really surprised, because pretty much blind relocate.
Yep. In the meantime, Mushi just pushing up a storm. He's over halfway to his Ags, 3/4 of the way there, pretty much. And now Black maybe now he's working on that blink. Maybe it's just going to be a straight AC. You can kind of delay the AC items. Sometimes we see even IOs with tinies IOs go for the drums for extra stats, but since Black has such great farm, I think he can skip over it.
I expect him to go Manta this game, so you can Manta dodge the Cold Feet, the Searing Chains, and you can also Manta dodge the Projectile from Viper, which is really big this game, and I know Black likes Manta because it's farm efficient. He likes to hit creeps.
He does, in fact, like to hit creeps. He's hit 150 of them so far. Some of them little creeps, like this family he's destroying right now. But happens to the rest of us. Io is getting close to a mech. This Io is also pretty stacked. We saw one of these last game. But traditionally, Io a hero where it's really great if he gets farm, but he can do a lot without. He doesn't always get it. But they're really sacking Venge here. Lowest net worth in the game.
Venge is fine with that though. She's got the Wave of Terror, which she's always going to get off. Her aura's good if she dies, and if she doesn't die,
Yes.
which I think is one of the best changes to the hero they ever did. And Top's always useful. Fortunately, Mineski missed on the D-ward on the cliff, thinking it was just placed in a slightly next level place. Fortunately, it was just the normal hill ward that you'll see most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Thought it was fancy, it wasn't. He's gonna find it now with his next sentry. Although he might be in the danger zone if he's not careful. He does manage to get it, so.
let's just pick up his blink as well. So.
Oh, they found Mushi! Mushi might have spotted trouble, but they hooked it onto the backline. They managed to that probably to be Ohio, but no, they're just gonna kill off Jesse Vash at Ohio. He has the blade mail. Do they have anything to stop him? No, there was a rocket on the backlines as well. Ember's trying to get the hell out of Dodge. They need to tether up and get out of there.
They might look to go rush now that they know the AA blast is down. They can take it pretty quickly with Mushi, but it looked like Black wants to defend instead and pick up the creeps. Trying to
And
go
they're
on
trying to go on mid. I don't think they can catch this. They're way too deep. That's a tier 2 right next to you. Jesse
Swap
Vashi,
out
he's
the
gonna
clock.
get stunned up, but what do they have? They're taking a lot of damage on him. Swap's not work anymore, and they're trying to burn him down, but here comes Io keeping him alive, and they realize they need to get the hell out of Dodge. Raging Potato, you might have a blink, but you don't want to be there. So he's actually trying to hide on the high ground, and then rotating more in. Oh gosh. He's gonna see DJ here, but DJ's gonna come up on him.
the AA blast net, unfortunately. I'm not sure it would have been a kill. It's only level 1.
So, and Mushi, as we've talked about all game, all day, playing super aggressively, has his ags up. He is just hiding deep in the forest. And Mineski slowly but surely, you know, maybe even in kills, but they're just gonna fall behind in farm because their map is much more unsafe. Look at how many bloody sentries they have out as well. And they still don't have good map vision. They've got sentries just littering the map.
It's really hard to be a support when there's so much pick-off potential on the other team. You have to tell your team to go with you. You don't always know what's... If you ever fall behind, then you don't know where they are, like, actually placing the mods, which makes it really hard for you. Fnatic might be looking to go for a smoke now. After, might opt to heal up first. He's picked up the medallion. Mushi just got his axe. So, might be a pick into Roche, or might just go straight into Roche.
Looks like they're looking for a smoke
safe.
on Mineski. Yeah, they also smoked. So, if they can catch out Mushi here, will be great. You know, Black is the ideal target because he's so high up on the net worth, but you'll take Mushi, you'll take anybody really. And they're trying to bait Viper. Oh god, Mushi now knows she's seen by. She doesn't manage the light strike array, and Mushi is just dead. Here comes Clockwork trying to save her life, but it is way too late, and he might be in the wrong place, wrong time. Gonna try to TP out. Do they have anything? They fissure him. A blast. He's very dead. Remnant for good measure, but at the same time, as you said, Roshan going down. They have the medallion up on net. Also going to use that wave of terror. This is an easy Roshan for for Fnatic. Mineski, no idea because of their ward vision. Again, coming back to Blackstone.
I'd say that trade's worth it at the end, just get the Roche. Really good space creation. Unfortunately, it came instead of them getting us and then getting Roche. Fnatic will take it. Mineski just have to play really carefully, you know. If they are losing 1 or 2 fights on the back of this Aegis and maybe some more towers, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
We also got the... You were completely right about the Monta on Black. He just... Really, a couple things to purge off, but it's like... Really wanting to farm.
It's such a good item on Tiny. Especially when you have to deal with like Viper, amp damage, like... Being able to disjoint these things and remove the debuffs is a huge thing.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised, even though, as you can see, it does a lot of work on a tower or whatever, and if there's the disjoint, it feels like they could really end this game early on Fnatic with their lineup, and then just not give Ember a chance at all to come online. Although, as I say, don't give him a chance to come online. 23 minutes in, still doesn't have his Battle Fury. The average time of this match is 25 minutes. So
Tom's decent at this point, so he's gonna have it soon. Probably, as you say, around the 25-minute mark, we should see average.
Yeah.
However, I don't think Fnatic have the ability to end this game early at all. Mineski have really good high ground defense between Shake, Ember, AA. It's really scary to push those heroes. Blink, Ladder, and Viper early, it's just so hard to fight into. They're gonna look to keep doing what they're doing right now. Even though they have the Aegis, probably going to wait until the last few seconds, or minutes of it, to use it, get as much off the map as they can. This is how you utilize Tiny to its best, I feel like. Actually
we're getting ready
on
for
the
a relocate. They're going, AA, goodbye, sweet prince.
That should cue, there's another ward around this area, let's hope they actually
I
find it
know.
at the time. About to expire anyway, so that's warding from Fnatic.
Yeah. At the very least, AA actually has up a lot of gold, picked up that point booster, and also they're getting close to the blink on Earthshaker, so that's gonna be nice. I'm gonna say it gets a little bit scary, I think, for for Fnatic. As this game does go later, I really do think Mineski has a lot of good scaling. The amp damage gets better because there's more physical damage. The Earthshaker, you know, he'll be getting items, and AA is one of those sports who just scales really well.
Yeah, Fnatic don't have the late game completely in the bag by any means, so Mineski do decently, but I feel like Luna's going to be the X factor here for Fnatic, and vice versa. It's going to be AA for Mineski. Possibly the Shaker as well, if he manages to get a few really good Blink Echoes. Looks like they're going to pick off the Slardar bottom with the hook.
Yeah, Bimbo not looking so good. He gets Yuled up. I don't think he even need the hook. Light Striker kind of hit Laguna Blade. I wasn't sure if Mushi was going to expend it there.
It's safer when there's a tier 2 tower there. Cooldown's short. Better safe than sorry.
100%. So we've got Venge. She's still holding Black's wand. The Aegis is active for a little under 2 minutes, so not a super big deal. But they haven't gotten a push with it or anything because they are just doing a better job on Fnatic of following up this map.
I'd actually like to see them just
experience.
relocate mid and kill this tower now.
I think they might think about doing it bottom. There's the hook shot onto Earthshaker. Here comes the relocate Viper up in the air. Light Striker gonna hit. They're actually going on the Viper first, knowing that Earthshaker's dead. A balls might hit, but I don't think it's enough. He tries to use the Viper Striker on Hayu. He'll tick down, so at least they get one. But that's not what you want. And as you said, they're also gonna get mid. Someone's TPing in. Then she's gonna take a fall here. Slithering Crush. They should have enough damage. Can they get her? She also has. Well, she helps get the tower. Net is going to fall here eventually. Oh, nice swap. Good funky. But also looks like top and bottom both gonna fall in exchange for that. Yeah, both of these towers pretty
really
much
smart
dead.
play by Fnatic. Having the balls to say Venge is gonna push mid, Mushi's solo bottom, pushing tower, and they opted back with the reload to push up. So it's playing really efficiently around the map. It's really nice to see this kind of play.
A lot of people in this game right now really rich. Shaker, he got set back on the blink a little bit, but Mushi has 3.6k gold, 3k on Black, and I imagine an AC just helps with the slaughter a bit. Not sure. Oh gosh.
Yeah, AC's a good follow up. Also opt for a butterfly or a crit stud. Butterfly is decent this game, but I think AC is just stronger doing what butterfly does, especially when you're looking at teaching as well.
They're gonna hit the AA blast on Ohio. There's the Searing King. Sleight of Fist. Oh my goodness. With the Ancient stack there. Did a lot of work, but now the Avalanche balls are gonna kill him off. Tiny actually gets the last hit there, but when you have Avalanche Toss and the balls out, that's more than enough to wreck a Flame God, and that kill not worth it for Ember Spirit.
Nice that he's going for that because he realizes he needs to do something. Unfortunately, the team was set to capitalize on his positioning, which is probably going to prompt him down mid now. At the time he has the AC and the Ember's dead for 40. She isn't there though.
Do you as Mineski, it feels like if you play the safe, just try to farm it out, try to total your base, you're waiting for Fnatic to make a mistake. Do you try to go for a smoke or something? You're out of smokes. 10 more minutes. It means somebody has one, which means they are going for a smoke play. That's probably why the courier is hovering. Yeah. Yeah,
if they just let this game continue at this pace, there's no way they're winning it. So they have to find some way of probably looking to pick off Chi because he's constantly been alone most of this game. Ohio's there half the time. Never been there, I feel like. So it's the place I'd look to go to. Secure your own woods to start with. But it is risky, like if they get one bad fight because of going for something like that, it's almost game over. So they're obviously hesitant and then want to the best fight they can.
Yeah,
Ohio
and these
actually warding again for his team.
super deep wards. Like, these wards by Fnatic have just been on point.
Like it's so rare that you see core players actually have inventory slots to do this at 30 minutes as well. Really
Well,
nice
Lina
to
has
see.
a
Fnatic
Shivas.
looking really polished.
Yeah, and as you said, this aggressive play by Mushi really paying off. She's constantly sitting in bottom lane. She's gonna hide for a bit now. She probably won't poke her head out here. Oh, she's thinking about going for it. It's a big mistake if Mushi goes for this, but she might think she can do something to Cocoon. No, she just TP's out. Good game sense from Mushi. I think she stole the Viper maybe. But it's just something where she plays so aggressively, whoever comes down here dies, and they don't feel like they can de-ward their jungle. So they finally got some protection up for it.
The fact he's doing this with no vision, except for this one in the woods as well, just shows his game sense.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah.
is under
And he knows that he can do it because Mineski feels scared.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So
attack.
he's just pushing his hero to the limits right now, which is really nice.
Radiant's top tower
And
is under
meanwhile, they try to push up bottom and the woods
Yeah.
there. IO Tiny just going right, forcing them back.
And they're gonna have to TP back. They do have the Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker now, so maybe if IO Tiny do bad things, there could be a blink on them very quickly and actually smoked up Slaughter. They're gonna be out of smokes because of this. The illusions come by Slaughter actually getting hit by them. Now he can't blink.
That's unfortunate, wasting that smoke, because as you
Yeah.
said, it's going to be a long time until they can do anything with them, and that's the easiest way of getting back into the game. Having smokes just makes shooting gets a lot harder.
Yeah, you've got to be much more perfect. It's also just not even a question of perfect. It's the fact that a lot of these heroes, they see you coming, they have escapes, maybe they relocate out or so on, versus if you can actually jump the IO. And yeah, IO is very close to Guardian Greaves. Another thing that's going to make this slot more and more obsolete. The fact that there's an AC, a Shiva's God on Lina, and now soon to be Guardian's Greaves on IO. Autos!
I'm actually quite surprised Mishi went for the over something like a Hex, but just feeling wants the armor, and it's really good at doing what he's doing right now. So might look for it next. Not sure if he wants to go for something like Refresher instead to use the mana pool that Shivas gives.
Dire's
Yeah.
top tower
See
is
Refresher
under
working
attack.
over Hex actually. So then you can burst down the Viper instantly. They're actually
And we've
reloading
got
bottom just
relocate
to do
push. Yeah,
damage.
this is the rat coming out, and look at that tower falling. Probably just gonna take a few hits. Black doesn't even care. He actually has to be a little bit careful. Mushi using that Shiva's. Black immediate toss, and look at the damage they're taking. The cleave and the relocate out, and they're gonna lose the tower to the illusions. That Denver Spirit actually denying it.
You can tell TJ knows exactly what he's doing with this hero. He breaks the
Yeah.
tether knowing it's like gonna be on cooldown. He dodges the blast, so there's no chance of him dying, and if he doesn't die, the Tiny's not dying.
Dire's top tower
So-
has fallen.
Fnatic
Yeah.
just know exactly what to do with this combo. They might even get the Ember bottom here from Freelance to stun.
Yeah, it's gonna
That'll
be
go get it
rough.
up.
Yeah, searing sleight of fist.
That's
Ember
as close
remnants
to
away.
perfect as you can get, I think, on the timing. It still wasn't even close to catching him. So frustrating.
I mean, welcome to instant cost points coming out of other people. Glimmer Cape up on bench. Clockwork has his 4-star blade mail, had that for a while. Demon Edge rocking up on Tiny. You think it's a Daedalus? I don't see any reason it would be an MKB right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they
agree
threw
with
an
the
AA
Daedalus.
blast onto Mushi, but no follow-up from Jesse Vash. I don't think he could do anything alone there. He actually goes for the Echo Slam on Mushi. I spoke too soon, and now Mushi's dead, but with the beautiful spot, they're trying to go on Mushi still.
The ult.
Yule's up, and they're gonna kill off Jesse Vasha. I think that Raging Potato as well. Where's the Laguna Blade? There it is.
I want
he's
to point this
killed.
ward out. Mineski doing exactly the right thing, but they're just too far behind. Jesse went a little bit early. I think he could have had a bit more of a window, but with Net being there, it's so hard to execute these kills.
And Ohio surprise was there as well.
I think if they had that ward like 10 minutes
Oh,
ago,
he
it
hit
would
the
definitely
Searing
have done
Chains,
more.
and now he might take a magic missile to the face. He does. Lina not coming in close. Mushi's very low. A blast. It doesn't hit her. Doesn't even get the frostbite proc on her. And at the same time, guess who's at the top, knocking on their door?
I'd actually reload bottom if they could. Then.
Yeah.
It's actually too far right now, never mind. But they're just playing this so well. I can't state this enough. Aegis is going to spawn now. It's been a really long rush timer, so they'll secure that. There's very little chance of Mineski can win this unless they feel like they have to go all in here. They feel the game's slipping away. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to try and fight here, but Fnatic have really good vision, and I think Mineski is still out of smokes.
Yeah.
So Fnatic will see them coming if they do that.
What do you do? Because you got 2k gold. Are you just saving for some buyback action, or because he didn't finish off the Guardian Greaves, which I thought was an option.
For Io, maybe Lotus Orb
Oh,
to get rid
Vlad.
of
It's
the Vlad's is also a really good
And
pickup. It makes
goodbye,
Tiny
Slaughter.
so tanky.
yeah. So Slaughter is gonna get out there, but now here comes the push on bottom, and they have to kill this Tiny twice. The Tiny that they haven't killed but once.
They actually have to kill the like 3 times.
Yeah, when you
to
include
relocate
the
as
IO.
well. Which is not happening. I don't think they can kill him once. The IO's there to heal him off. Disregarding and relocate entirely. So this is gonna have to be some really sick plays coming out from the Shaker.
Oh, they have a stun out on top. They've also force-stopped him forwards. A nice little play there. And then there's the fissure coming out. He's not taking enough damage, and now Io's here to make sure he takes even less with the overcharge. A-Blast way up the mark. Who gets the Searing Chains Black again, maybe in a bit of trouble, but at the bottom lane, the rest of Fnatic are grouped up. They're ready to push in, even if Black doesn't want to, and they can just relocate Black over there, win the team fight. They've got a lot of options, it feels like, on Fnatic, and not so many on Mineski.
Yeah, Cuckoo's trying to push out topping up whatever farm he can. Probably got a Remnant in base, back to defend, but as you say, their options are just so limited right now. Fnatic.
No. And Black just
Completely
gonna,
off.
oh my goodness, did you see how much he did? He did like a fifth of that Rax's health. He's just gonna come in, gonna start auto-attacking this. Yeah, this Rax 3 hit from Black, and now there's something to make it even harder. They can't take him down from full health. The A-Balls, they're gonna climb out of it. Net, what a play. He might go down, but Black stays alive, and he has Aegis to boot. A nice fissure coming out. Black, he's gonna have a ways to go, but he's just gonna kill off anybody who comes to him. Another reload tether, gonna mean that they don't actually have it up maybe for the next one, but Laguna Blade coming out on Ryo. Oh goodness, they actually pick up the Clockwork. Nice little stun there. Black, though, he's still ready to go for him. They're only a ranged Rax down. Ember Spirit, one of those heroes that can actually deal with this. Here comes Earthshaker, get the fissure out of him, but maybe it's communication on who they're gonna go on. Raging Potato has bought back, and now Ember Spirit is dead. And they're just gonna kill off Slaughter too.
Well.
I don't want to say it's GG, but that's some dieback action, and the Rax and the other Raxes are exposed. They can go for the tier 3 towers, no tier 2s left. They pop
They
the
could
glyph.
go throne.
Yeah, they're throwing out AA Blast, trying to do whatever they can, and it's just not enough.
They probably don't know Ember doesn't have a buyback. By the time Viper spawns, his will just be available as well, so they're gonna do the safe play, which is perfectly understandable.
Tiny is 11.5 thousand net worth above the next post, and making it even more with these Rax kills. And suddenly they're facing supers in 2 lanes for Mineski.
It might be a third.
Middle barracks.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like they have any sort of fight they can put up. Black wandering over. Cold Feet just gonna tickle him. He is huge. And we haven't even seen like good, lucky, craggy exterior procs, you know? This is all just him being tanky as shit, and that's our
GG. Kill
GG.
him off,
Yeah.
in all fairness.
Nice echoes to end it off. They might, if the game continued, kill
They don't even
DJ,
get the
but no.
IR.
No such luck. So that's game 1 in the bag, but I take it very convincingly. That puts them 1 game away from being in the grand finals to see who qualifies for the summit. So any final words on this one?
Ban the IO, please.
Yeah, I feel like you have to ban the IO. It's amazing. I can't believe he
DJ's
gets
is really
through.
impressive. I've never seen it through a spectator point of view, but Jesus Christ, he plays that hero so well.